Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? I hope you're all well. It's Sunday, so that's all what that means. It's another supernatural Sunday. It's quite early in the morning. I didn't think I'd get one out this week because I've not been very well at all. I'm still not very well, to be fair. But I managed to watch it last night. And today's episode is Season 1, Episode 19, called Provenance. It was first aired in April 13th, 2006, and it was approximately 43 minutes long. It's a good one this week. Let's talk about the cast for a few minutes. You got Jared Padalecki playing Sam Winchester, and you've got Jensen Ackles playing Dean Winchester. I don't know if you were aware, I've been saying Jason Ackles for the past 18 episodes and no one's actually pulled me up on it. But it's Jensen Ackles. And I'm probably mispronouncing the second name wrong anyway. But anyway, then you got Keith Martin Gordy as Daniel Blake and Taylor Cole as Sarah Blake, and they are an antique shop owners. Her father-daughter antique owners. Jay Brazzari, I don't know that. Brazeau. He's the librarian, and how do you call it, when they know they research family trees. He's one of those. He knows every, all the local family trees going way back. Lyndon Blake's playing Isaiah Merchant, and Jodelle Farland playing Melanie Merchant. Jodie Thompson playing Ann Tesler, and Curtis Cavano playing Mark Tesler. They're only in a few minutes at the beginning and they get killed, so don't forget their names. And you got Barbara Furchen playing Evelyn, and there's a couple of others, bar girl, hot girl, waiter. I'm not going into those. Yes, they talk, but it's not worth going into that. Anyway, this is all about a painting, and it's going, so yeah. At the beginning of it, you see Anne and Mark Tessica coming back from a silent auction, like not a charity auction, but just an auction, and they're drunk and they're out all lovey-dovey and they're kissing, and they want to they put this painting they won at auction above the fireplace, and they said, why did we even bother? He said, well, we had to bid on something, and they're like, come upstairs and for a bit of a hanky-panky, thing, and so the lady goes upstairs, and he said, oh, hold on, I'm just going to lock up. So he goes around the house locking up the doors, front door, back door, and by this time Anne's up in the bedroom getting into bed, and this shadow comes into the room and the light goes off, and anyway, Mark then walks up the stairs, goes into the room, and the lights are off, and he kneels on the bed and puts his hand on the bed, and he feels something wet. He turns the light on, looks at his hand, and it's covered in blood, and looks across the bed, and his wife throat's been cut and she's dead on the bed, and he jumps off the bed, falls backwards, hits his head on the windowsill, but looks over, and then all you see this razor blade slashing down at him, and then it cuts to Sam and Dean in a bar, and Dean is up to his old tricks, chatting up these two really hot girls at the bar, saying he's a TV producer, and him and his producer buddy is here looking for people to obviously, you know, to do an acting job, whatever. And Sam is sat at a table with all his books out, computer open, doing research for the next job, basically trying to find their next, you know, place to go. And he looks at the paper, and then he calls Dean over, and Dean's like, you know, waving him off, going, I'm busy here. And like Sam's like, come here. And so Dean tells the two girls, hang on a minute, my producer friend is calling me over. So he goes over there and said, I've got a case for us. He says, 2 people have been found with their throats slashed in New York. And he says, well, that's just a normal murder. And he says, no, it was the doors are locked, there's no fingerprints or nothing. And he goes, well, and he says, even Dad's in his journal, as you know, this it's logged in. There's been 3 other murders like that from like 1917 to 1945, then 1973, and now this one at present day. So yeah, so what they have to do basically is they head off towards New York, and yeah, they find out the story that they've been to this auction, and the day they come back from the auction, they're found murdered. So anyway, they go to this auction house, shop, whatever you want to do, and there's another auction going on, or another open sale going on. They have like, it's invitation only, it's for the rich and the so Sam and Dean go in there with them, you know how scruffy they look all the time, and having a look round, and basically come across this bloke comes up to him and goes, I'm sorry lad, gentlemen, I don't think you're meant to be here. And Sam and Dean goes, or Dean goes to him, bring us some champagne, he says, and Sam goes, he's not a waiter, Sam, he's the owner. And Dean, he's the owner. And anyway, Sam goes to them, he says, we're talks to the owner and goes, we're art professors or art dealers, and yes, our names are on the list. Anyway, and they walk off, you know, brazenly, as they do, because they lie all the time anyway. So yeah, anyway, they go and find this painting, which obviously they found out the painting the dead couple bought, and it's at the auction. And this girl Sarah comes down the stairs and talks about the painting to Sam, and but she's like given misinformation about it, and Sam turns around and says, you mean this, not that, because this is clearly so and so, and she goes, oh, forgive me, I misspoke. And obviously to see if they was art dealers, but Sam's been to college and obviously studied art at college. They ask the girl, what's the provenance on this painting? Can we have the provenance on this painting? And the gentleman comes over to him and to them, and says, your name's not on the list, and ask them to leave. So without getting the provenance of the painting they leave. But yeah, so they go to the hotel room, and oh, excuse me, I'll be right back. So yeah, they're at the hotel room. Sorry about that. They're at the hotel room, and Sam's doing his research and finds out that it's the merchant family portrait, and it's known that he's the wife was going to leave him and take the kids with him, so he slit their throats with a barber's razor, old-fashioned barber's razor, and I think that was a parcel just being delivered. Hopefully it's if it's what I think it is, it's going to be brilliant for Thursday. Anyway, I'm getting off track. That he slit the family's throats, the 3 daughters and his wife, and then himself, and yeah, and killed, or everyone's dead. So this was back in the very early 1900s. So and the painting has been passed down or sold and bought at auction, and the dates where it's been sold is the dates in their dad's diary. So it's all to do about this painting. So what they do, they decide to break into the auction house, cut the painting out the frame and burn it, which they do. They break in, they slice the painting out the frame, run back out of the auction place, set it on fire with salt and fire lighter fluid, and set it on fire, and it burns, and all of a sudden the painting reappears in the frame. So yeah, that happened. Anyway, Dean says to Sam, "Why don't you phone this Sarah up and send her out on a date?" And Sam saying, "Why?" She said, "Because she was into you and all this." And Sam saying, "No." And so Dean pretends he's lost his wallet, and it's back at the auction house. So they go off to the auction house, and so all of a sudden they see Sarah, and Dean goes, "Oh," to Sam, "here's that 20 quid I owe you." He says, "I'm off now." Anyway, so he's basically set Sam up to speak to this Sarah again, and he's halfway through asking her out, and they see the painting, and it's back in the frame, and yeah. So basically, he then says to Sarah, "Don't sell the painting," and he says, "I've got to go, sorry, but we'll set up a date for blah blah blah." So he goes to Dean and says, their painting's back in the painting, and anyway, they go off to the librarian and find out more information about the family, blah blah. That's where they find out where, he killed. Apparently, he killed. So they ask the librarian where they're buried, thinking they'll go and burn the bones. But they said no, they've been cremated. So they're like, well, what? Why? How come they're coming back if the painting's haunted by their spirits? His spirit. Why? What if he's been? So anyway, they ring up Sarah again and says, "We're interested in the painting. Can we buy it?" Meanwhile, the dad has sold it to an old client called Evelyn, and she's like a rich lady who buys art from them all the time, and Sarah's really good close friends with her. So Sam, says, Sarah, I need to find out who he sold it to, and their address. So Sarah says gives them the address, but she says, I'll meet you there. So they go to the address, and lo and behold, they have to break in, and Sarah follows them in, and they find the old lady with her throat being slit, just like the other couple. So yeah, they take Sarah back outside, and next minute, you hear a knock. They're sat in their hotel room, and Sarah knocks on the door and comes in and goes, I don't know why you made me phone the police and say I was on my own. I want answers. Who killed them? So they tell her that it's the ghost of, and she said, you won't believe us if we told you. She said, I will. So she told, what do you take me for and all this. And so they show her all the information, all the thing. Anyway, they've got a picture from the librarian, and the picture's different from what it is on the thing. And Sam says, talking to Dean, and said about the painting moving, and Sarah said, yeah, I thought I saw it move back at Evelyn's. So they decide to go back to Evelyn's, and they basically, the painting's different again. The knife's missing, the Isaiah's head's looking up instead of down. He's looking up a painting behind him, and basically he's showing him where the crypt is, where the ashes are interred. And so Dean uses a magnifying glass and says, like, the crypt name, Merchant. So they go and search graveyards until they get to the right one. They've done 3 or 4, and they get to this 4th one, and they find the crypt. They break into the crypt, but there's only 4 urns in there, and there was the husband and wife and 3 daughters. So they do a bit more research and find that the family blamed Isaiah for murdering the family, murdering himself. So they said to at the time, they give his body to the state for a pauper's burial, because he doesn't deserve to be in the family crypt. So yeah, they go and find the information where his crypt is, salt and burn his bones, and they do that, and then they go back to Evelyn's house just to make sure that the painting is back to normal, because they've got like where the picture was meant to be. So Sam and the girl goes in, and Dean waits outside, and they go in, and all of a sudden there's no girl. There's Isaiah's in the picture, but this Melanie, the daughter, the youngest daughter, is not in the picture, and the knife's not there, and they hear giggling, and there's wind blowing, and the door's shut. So Dean runs over and tries to break in, but he can't. And Sam goes, it's not Isaiah, it's Melanie, the daughter, because the ghost appears with the razor. And he goes, well, how's she doing it? Because her ashes have been buried with everybody else. So anyway, because the Sarah's an art historian, she says to Sam that the doll in her crypt, sometimes they are made from, the hair is cut from the child, and the doll is made from the child's hair. So anyway, Sam and Sarah's trapped in the house, and the ghost is trying to kill them. And so Dean jumps in the car, and he rushes to the crypt, and the gates are locked, so he smashes through the gates with the car, gets to the crypt, opens the crypt, and he's trying to break the glass. Meanwhile, the ghost is attacking the two. Sam's been thrown across the room, and the girl's about to attack Sarah. And luckily, Sam breaks the glass with a gun and sets the doll on fire just before the girl swipes at Sarah. Melanie swipes at Sarah, and she sets the ghost sets on fire. And then the girl's back in the picture then, and the picture goes back to how it's meant to be. And yeah, so basically they take the picture, take it back to the art shop, and box it up. And Sam and Dean and Sarah's there, and Dean comes in. Sam and Sarah are talking, and Dean comes in and finds out more information that Melanie was adopted, and the reason why she was adopted is because all her family was found dead with their throats slit, and she was the only survivor. So she obviously killed her own family, went to live with the merchants, and killed that family as well, and killed herself. So she was disturbed. So yeah, they all thought it was the dad, but it wasn't. It was the actual daughter. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So they end up. Sarah tells that her staff. The staff asked Sarah where they want to put this painting, and she said, take it out the back and burn it. So literally, they look at her and she said, yes, take it out the back, I'm being serious, and set it on fire. So they do that. Anyway, Sam and Sarah are talking, and Dean said, I'll wait in the car. And like, you know, they both fancy each other, Sam and this girl, but Sam won't commit to anything because he feels like if he commits to someone, they're going to die, because his mom died and his girlfriend died. So anyway, he goes out, and the girl shuts the door, and Dean shakes his head. Anyway, all of a sudden you hear knock, knock, knock on the door, and it's Sam. The girl opens the door, and Sam basically embraces the girl and kisses her. And anyway, they go and just drive off. That was the end. But yeah, brilliant it was. The next one is called Dead Man's Blood. So yeah, that's episode 20. Next one. So yeah, if you like this sort of thing, give me a thumbs up. If you really like this thing, consider subscribing. It's free. Tell your friends about me so we can all have talk about supernatural. It's not just supernatural I do. I add to my collection on a Thursday, and hopefully soon I'll be starting showing off my collection, and and doing a shelf by shelf showing my collection. So anyway, I won't keep you long because this has been a long one. But bye for now.